How's it going, guys? Bronami Code here, bringing you the first Let's Play of the channel known as Dark Souls Remastered. I'm really excited to get this project underway because I have tried to do this multiple times with multiple other channels, but unfortunately could not finish it due to lack of motivation. But I do feel like this time I feel the motivation to actually try. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and type in my name. Go with Bronami. Or, you know what? No. We're going to go with Code. And then Male. For this playthrough, I'm going to go for a Pyromancer Dex build. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Pyromancer class, because I mean, technically we could go ahead and start with, like, the Bandit, not the Bandit, the Hunter or the Wanderer, because he has higher dex, but the Pyromancer, as it says in the name, starts with the Pyromancy glove, so we're just going to go ahead and start with him. As for the gift, we're going to go with the Master Key, Average Physique. I'm going to go with the Delta Farmer Phase. I'm going to do a semi-long hairstyle, and it's going to be black hair. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start this.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
I don't know what it is about that cutscene, but I always did enjoy that. I don't know why.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign
brands the undead. I don't know why I'm narrating her lines.
And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
You say it's our fate, yet... well, not to spoil nothing, I'll let the scene play for itself. Boom. Friendly little knight to help us. Alright, sorry for that random cut, guys. I felt like the volume was a little too loud, so I was trying to see if I could fix it. Couldn't find nothing, so... yeah, basically, as I was saying during the opening cutscene, I actually do like that cutscene. So epic how FromSoft was able to build this back all the way up in 2011. I mean, yes, I know I'm playing the remastered version of this game, so... it's not like it's anything new or nothing, but it's still, at the time, it was very peak cinema. At least to me, anyways. I know there's games out there now that trump this, but still, it's almost hard to believe that this game is like, let's see, the original game came out in 2011, it's currently 2025, let's say about what, 14 years now, Jesus, 14 years old. Alright. Also, I do apologize if I go quiet from time to time. I don't mind commentating for my Let's Plays. It's just, I do feel like during the opening of this game, there is a lot to say, but I don't want to overwhelm so many people with the lore of this game, because, as I said in the opening beginning, we are an undead, and we were corralled to the Northern Undead Asylum to basically supposedly die, but apparently there's a prophecy going around as well that a chosen undead will basically take up or be freed from his cell and leave the Northern Undead Asylum, but people still don't know if we are the chosen undead from the get-go, or if we are chosen because we left the asylum. That's, I think, still up in the air as of right now. Anyways, as soon as we walk through this gate, fog gate, we have our little knight friend who helped us, kind of in some trouble. From here, don't worry about going left. Yes, there is a item there, but we can't get that item just yet. We'll have to come back later and get it. Instead, we're going to go this path, come down here, and open a bit of a shortcut for later. God, having a hard time speaking. But as soon as you walk up this way, roll down immediately, because that's a trap. And then the moment you come in here, talk to our little knight friend.
Oh,
I'm just going to go ahead and skip through most of his dialogue, because honestly, he just gives us the stuff about how he failed his mission, how he wants us to leave him so that way he doesn't kill us when he turns undead, and then basically gives us our healing flasks. And that's the noise. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's basically him perishing on the spot. And for that, you get 100 free souls from him. Now, one little interesting tidbit I should mention is that it doesn't matter if you let him die or not. If you were to just straight up kill him, he still drops you your healing flasks and the key to the door we just opened. But past that, there isn't really much consequence for killing that NPC, which I'll go over over that at a later point. I don't know if you guys are having a hard time seeing, but I'm kind of having a hard time. The area is a bit darker for me than usual. Then again, I kind of did screw with my brightness and contrast, so there is that. Anyways. Hello, buddy. And goodbye. Alright, let's go ahead and... We want to go ahead and traverse this fog. Don't worry about that door I passed up. That door is locked, and it's where you guys saw the item there. We will not be grabbing that item yet, at least not through this run-through of the asylum. Oh, crap, I forgot to equip it. I'm already making mistakes because of my commentary. Alright, just gonna go ahead and bob and weave, bob and weave. Whew, that was close. Alright. Asylum Demon has been officially defeated. And with that, he also gives us the Pilgrimage Key, which... Sorry I didn't show it off rip yet. It would have been shown up on our inventory if we defeated him, but I kind of jumped the gun there and opened the door. But as I was saying about the knight who gave us our healing flasks, something interesting about him is that if you were to kill the undead asylum demon before coming to talk to him, he would have actually given us our pilgrimage key along with our flasks and the key to the second level of, well, where we got our pyromancy glove. As for the asylum demon, he would have actually dropped us his Demon's Great Hammer. Honestly, it's a pretty good strength weapon. Can't really use it early on. It requires 50 strength, but I'll probably be showing that off during the New Game Plus cycle.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Alrighty, now welcome to Lordran. This is basically going to be the hub for the rest of the game. We can now, as the prompt says, we can now level up at bonfires, but we're going to hold off on doing that just for right now. First of all, we're going to come over here, we're going to talk to this crestfallen warrior. I'm going to go and basically skip through his dialogue. Long story short, he basically tells us where we need to go to start our journey. Basically, we have to go ring 2 bells, one from the top and one at the bottom. So that's basically all he says. The reason I'm talking through his dialogue is at some point this guy is going to move to New Londo Ruins, and we're gonna have to kill him. Alright, his dialogue is exhausted. Now, I know that sounds a bit bad, because I thought you said, well, Todd, I thought killing NPCs was bad. Well, here's the thing. Yes, killing NPCs are bad, but certain ones have certain quest lines where, unfortunately, people are going to have to get axed off due to the fact that they either become hostile towards you, or become an undead, or some story-driven crap that normally comes out just needs to be done. Now, you don't have to talk to the Crestfallen Warrior. Honestly, the reward you get for doing his side quest is just, I think, 5 humanities, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But yeah, past that, it's not really... If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Like I said, the only reason I'm trying to do it, and I'm sorry for talking a bit too fast, is because I want to try to at least knock out what I can and show you guys most of the content in this game. I can't show everything because a lot of the stuff involves multiplayer, and I really don't have a lot of friends that play this game, so it is what it is at this point. But as I was doing, I'm basically now talking to this guy, and basically originally he tells you not to talk to him, and then when you talk to him again, he gives you a copper coin, and then you talk to him a third time, he basically asks if you want to join his covenant. Say yes, and I'll get you, and then you basically join the Way of the White Covenant. He also gives you a gesture. As for the Faith Miracles, I'm going to be upfront with you guys. While I do like Faith builds in later Souls games, I feel like Faith in the first Dark Souls was kind of lackluster. The only good moves that were really good that were outside of PvP were Homeward, so that way you didn't have to waste using your souls on Homeward Bones. Maybe Force, and some of the heal spells. There is one more called, like, I think, Lightning Bolt. I'll put it into editing when I get done with this video, but yeah. Faith in the first game, I honestly feel kind of just fell short. Heck, even in Dark Souls 2, while they did get a bit better, I do feel like it still wasn't the greatest. I feel like by the time Dark Souls 3 came out, that's when Faith really started to shine through, up until Elden Ring, which, holy crap, Faith was busted until the end game. Anyways, though, we're going to go ahead and, as you see, opening these chests. This will get you some goodies. Also, the place we just fell down through was an elevator shaft. We'll be accessing that probably in the next, not next episode, but probably probably will be the next episode. I usually try to make these, I'm going to try to make these videos as long as I possibly can. Alright, so real quick before I forget, you're going to want to go ahead and equip the Homeward Bones that you got in your inventory. Now, I want to make this very clear. This is a slight suicide run that I both do and don't recommend new players doing, because now I don't know if you guys can see it, but there are some bones down there, and they will come to life. These skeletons at this point in the game are not easy to kill, so what I recommend doing is, and follow along, the moment these guys start getting up and you're able to recover and run, immediately beeline it this way, grab that, run this way. Try to avoid getting hit by these guys because they can hurt, especially this early. Grab that. Grab this. Now we're going to go ahead and grab a good dex weapon. Or dex/quality weapon. I'll go into that part more in more of a second. An early strength weapon. And actually not even an early strength weapon. This Y-hander can last you through the entire game. And then immediately Homeward Bone out if you can. Again, sorry if I was talking too fast on that regard. I really do not like doing that run, especially since the skeletons have caught me a few times. But to go over the stuff we got a few soul items, a new shield. I'm going to actually equip that shield because it's the best. It's better than the shield I'm using right now, because look at that. Shield's not good compared to like this. Yeah, no, I'm gonna wear this. As for the weapons we got, the Zweihander. Honestly, the Zweihander is pretty good. It's a pretty good strength weapon early on, and if you upgrade it, can actually even be good during the mid to late game. Honestly, it's a pretty good solid weapon that I've actually used throughout the entire game before, and honestly, I recommend it for any strength users out there who want to use a good greatsword. As for the winged spear, it may not look like much, but honestly, it's a pretty solid good dex weapon if you so desire, or even a good quality weapon. No, actually, no, it's just a dex weapon. Wow, I thought it was a good quality weapon, but hey, You learn something new every day. But yeah, no. Zweihander, good for strength / quality builds, and the wing spear, good for dex. Speaking of the shield, I'm going to go ahead and equip it. And now, what I'm about to do, I'm going to go ahead and warn you. Well, before I warn you, I'm going to go ahead and show you another NPC we can talk to. This is the Firekeeper. We're not going to talk to her just yet, because what this Firekeeper does is she upgrades our soul, or sorry, not our souls, but our flasks to have more healing effect. I'll go into more of that a little bit later, because what I'm about to do is another suicide run. Now, please understand, not understand, but here's a disclaimer. I don't know why I said please understand. A bit of a disclaimer before we do this. I do not recommend anyone doing the suicide run if you are new to this. Especially because there are ghosts that spawn that you cannot hurt off rip. And these guys can rack up heck of a lot of damage. It's not too hard to get what we're going for, but I still recommend that you get good at knowing the enemy layouts before you start rushing into like dangerous territories that are supposed to be for like late game. Because yes, I'm about to run into a late game area. With that being said, real quick before I forget, as you saw me, I used the master key to open this door to pick up an item. Now, normally you wouldn't be able to open this door off rip if you didn't get the master key, because normally you'd have to go through Blighttown, get that, open the door that way, and then you could get through New Londo runes that way. I've said that way like how many times now? But yeah, no, since I have the master key, we're going to be able to unlock not every locked door, but we're going to be unlocking a good majority of them. Also, something else I forgot to mention earlier were these little notes down here. Now, earlier back in the Undead Asylum, these were not player-based messages. They were basically messages left by our little knight friend, which is named Oscar, by the way. He would have taught us how to play the game. Now, once you got out of the Undead Asylum, if you were online, players would leave you like little messages, like if I were to hit forward and... Can I not kick? Okay, that's weird. Well, apparently weakness is not kick. But yeah, no, if you were to just, like I was saying, certain characters, or certain players leave messages. Some of them were helpful, some of them were massive trolls. I do not recommend reading some of these messages, because some of them are just for the lulz and whatnot. Anyways, though, so over here, we got ourselves a blacksmith. Now, this guy is, the blacksmith for any sorcery builds. Like, you can reinforce weapons, with him, but if you want a certain scaled weapon, like say you wanted something for strength, well, this is not the guy to go to. The people who use strength, dex, and hell, even to even lesser extent pyromancies, our blacksmith will be coming up shortly. But for a true pyromancy blacksmith, we're gonna have to wait till late game to even access a pyromancy blacksmith. But back on topic with this guy, he basically sells the basics sorcery spells, basic sorcery catalyst. Like I said, you can talk to him.
There's nothing.
And then basically that's it right there. He doesn't really talk much. But yeah, past that he can. He's basically he's basically the magic blacksmith. Anything past that, well, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait till a certain point in the game. But enough of me rambling. If we come over here, we can get a good dex weapon called the Stock. And then we're gonna come over here, smash this pot, and pick up some transient curses. I'll go into those items later, but to make a long story short, they can if you're struggling with the ghosts in here, basically these are what help you kill the ghosts. That's all I'm going to say on the matter for right now, because, like I said, this is the part where I recommend you guys be careful, because, like I said, what we're going for is... I may make it look easy, but trust me, when I first did this, I struggled immensely. Like, right there, I almost slipped up and... could have gotten killed. But I didn't, so we're all good there. Alright. So, now that we got ourselves a Firekeeper Soul, as it says, it boosts the power of the Estus Flask. If we come over to this Firekeeper right here, she doesn't say nothing, but we can go ahead and reinforce our flask. Now, I will say this right now, she is tied to a side quest that could happen later, but I'm going to say this right now, we will not be doing that side quest. I'll let you know when that side quest can happen, but for now, just keep that little nugget of information in the back of your head. Now, without further ado, we are pretty good. We can go ahead and start heading out. Hey there, buddy. Alright, come on. Come on. So, for those wondering why I chose the Pyro class to begin with, so here's the thing. Oh, crap. Well, well, that was my unintentional first death of the game. I was trying to jump across that little to that little bridge over there, but I forgot that in Dark Souls 1, it's not clicking the left analog stick. It's basically you have to hit B again, which that's a little frustrating because I've been playing Dark Souls 2 and 3 a lot recently, and I'm so used to now clicking the left analog stick to jump that I completely forgot that in the first one it was you had to smash or press the B button again just to jump. But back on topic. So the reason I chose the Pyromancy class, especially a Dex Pyromancy, is one, nothing with Dex, because honestly I feel like Strength was actually the go-to for the first Dark Souls game. But Pyromancy was the most utterly broken class in the in both PvP and PvE. The thing was, Pyromancy, you didn't have to allocate any stat. You didn't have to allocate any stat to wield a Pyromancy spell. You could just literally pick up the Pyromancy glove, and then, as long as you have the attunement slots for it, just slap the Pyromancy skill onto you. And then bam, as long as you had the Pyromancy glove, that was basically it. It wasn't until, like, Dark Souls 2 really started putting the, I want to say Dark Souls 2, I could be wrong about that, but I want to say about, yeah, Dark Souls 2 is where you started to, where they started getting more stricter on the requirements for Pyromancy, because, well, yeah, you could still wield the Pyromancy glove, it costed certain, stat points to even, use the Pyromancy spells. But yeah, no, Dark Souls 1, whew, Pyromancies, man. They were the most, busted thing in the game. It's basically like how, what was it, the Rivers of Blood or the Moonveil Katana was back in the early days of Elden Ring. Speaking of which, even though, I'm sorry if I come off as dumb, but I do feel like Bleed has gotten a bit better in Elden Ring. I don't know if that's true or not, that could just be me, but I feel like the bleed proc goes off a lot quicker than it did when the when all the bleed abilities started getting nerfed back in like what was it, just like what, 2 years ago? I can't remember off the top of my head, because I know Elden Ring released in 2022. It's now 2025. The game's about 3 years old. And oh well, I digress. So back to the topic at hand, because I know I just went from one plot point to another. We are currently We currently fell down to the end of this passage to collect some little hidden goodies. Not really story progression much, just to come and grab some stuff. I mean, this is where we need to go for story progression, but I decided to take a little side path to go start collecting things. I don't know why I decided to go to a side path when I did say I was going to show off most of what I can show off in this game. Anyway, let's go ahead and kill these guys. And pick up this rubbish soul item. And now we're going to go ahead and climb up this ladder. I don't know why I'm giving the play-by-play. I mean, you guys have eyes. You guys can clearly see what I'm doing. Alright, come pick up this. Get ourselves a humanity. Random 20 souls. Something must have... Another 20 souls. That's odd. Anyways, don't bother going in this little area right here. We're actually going to ignore that because there's nothing there. We'll come back later through it because there's going to be an item that we're going to be picking up that's... I shouldn't have walked through there. That we have to go through that door for, but we have to go through it a bit later because... Well, we have to go through, like, some type of, like... secret passageway? I don't know. Yeah, if you try to jump from here, you're not going to make it. You're just going to plummet down. Anyways, coming up this way. God. You know, on a different topic, I love how Dark Souls is the spiritual successor to Demon Souls. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really wish they would have continued on with the Demon Souls series, because I do genuinely like Demon Souls, because I have played it, and I actually might even do a Let's Play on it when I can afford a PS5, or get another PS5, because... Bit of a sob story here, I do apologize. But I actually did have a couple PS5s, but I had to sell them due to the fact that I've been having money issues because I've been going from job to job, but none of them really sticking. And it just kind of sucks, but hey, that's life. You either grit your teeth and bear it, or you just don't. God, that got dark. I'm so sorry. Back to the goofy. Oh yeah, like there's goofiness in Dark Souls. But yeah, no, honestly, at some point when the money's right, I'll get a PS5 and I'll probably Let's Play Demon Souls, because I really do love that series. Honestly, I am a huge Souls fan. I like almost any Souls-like games that are actually good. Heck, I was actually just playing Liza P before I actually started this channel and this Let's Play, due to the fact that I actually do like I said, I'm just a huge fan of Souls games. Go ahead and ignore this little door area right here. We're gonna come back to it later, but for now we're gonna go to the to that doorway right there after dealing with this undead. Oh, damn! Thanks for the helmet, bud. Anyways, we're going to come down here. You know, I find it hilarious how when I was younger, I had a hard time parrying anything, but now it's like, oh, you weren't close enough. But now I feel like, now that I know certain time, I had a friend who taught me the parry timing. Ah, dang. But yeah, I had a friend who taught me the parry window timing, so I basically can parry nearly everything. Although I will admit, I do not recommend... there's a certain enemy that is going to be coming up later that I do not recommend I know I say this a lot. I know I said this a lot already, but I really don't recommend new players taking it on without knowing the ins and outs of the game, because just like I said earlier, anything involving mid to late game as of right now for newcomers, I do not recommend you tackle. I do not recommend you tackling it at all, because these guys can rack up damage quick, and with how small most of the health bars are at the start of the game, it's not really that good, especially if you started with a sorcerer, because if I'm not mistaken, their HP bar is even lower than a pyromancer's. Also, I completely realized I forgot what I should have talked about. So, what you just saw me do there earlier was, remember how I told you there was a little item, an item that we could get at before we had to go a certain detour route? Well, this was the item, the light crossbow. Like I said, you just go down where I showed you, climb up that ladder, climb up on that roof, and then carefully jump over to that little platform that I showed earlier as well. And then bam, you can get yourself the light crossbow and the, I think it was the wooden bolts? Standard bolts, okay. Now, coming through this door that I told you guys to ignore earlier, we got ourselves a bit of a merchant. Go ahead and talk to him. Gonna go ahead and just skip through his dialogue. He sells various knickknacks, trinkets. We're not really gonna be buying much from him because, I mean, yeah, we got the orange soapstone. Orange soapstone, which I'm gonna go ahead and actually buy, because that's how you get your messages. That's how you get messages placed on the ground. He sells the repair box and the bottomless box. I'm actually gonna hold off on these because, truth be told, you really don't. You have a. If I'm not mistaken, you have almost a seemingly bottomless inventory space. I mean, yes, certain items do cap out at certain points, but yeah, in the repair box, honestly, I'll be upfront, I've rarely ever used the repair box, ever. I'm not even joking. If I wanted to get my stuff repaired, I genuinely go to a one of the blacksmiths around here. Residence Key we will get, but we're going to get that later. He also sells us various basic weapons, something that really is impressive. However, the shield I'm going to go for is the heater shield, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. That's why I didn't want to pick up the key. And he also sells us various arrows and bolts, but
thank you.
Honestly, it's not really worth grabbing anything right now from him, because a lot of the stuff that we need from him won't happen until, I think, maybe like the second episode. So just keep him in the back of your mind for now, and we're going to go ahead and run up here and hit this bonfire, and I'm going to go ahead and take a quick refreshing pause. Alright guys, so I'm back. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure I was still recording my video. But yes, at the bonfire, there's a few things you'll notice. That our flask didn't go up to 10 like it did at the Firelink Shrine. Well, that's because this bonfire is considered to be unkindled, and you're wondering, well, how do we kindle a bonfire? Well, it involves these little guys right here. Basically, what we need to do is we need to reverse our hollowing. And then we can come up here, hit kindle, and boom. Now we have up to 10 flasks that we can use at a bonfire. Now, before we go on, I'm going to go ahead and start leveling up my stats. So let's go ahead and start popping some of these soul items. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had breakfast before I started recording, so I do apologize for burping on stream. But what I was gonna say before I rudely burped like that was that I am so glad the remaster added the ability to crush multiple items at once, or use multiple items at once, because in the original Dark Souls, for those who don't know, it was a pain in the butt just to actually go in and just crush the soul items one by one. It was kind of I'll say this right now. It was not fun times all around. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and because we're gonna need attunement, we're gonna need vigor, because here's how the stats we're gonna go. We're gonna go vigor, attunement, endurance. Strength is only gonna be at 14, so I'll need to pump 2 more into that, and then I need to pump my dex up, and everything else just stays at base. So probably what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and get my... Actually, you know what I should have done? I probably should have bought the scimitar, because that's the weapon I'm going to be using. Son of a gun. Alright, you know what? We're going to leave our stats at base. I know we should... Now, something I will say, do not do what I am doing, because this is actually a dangerous strat. Basically, to make a long story short, when you die, as you saw earlier in the video, you leave behind a bloodstain. Now, depending on if it's your bloodstain, that means you have a chance to reclaim it and pick up your souls. However, that does not always... Here's the problem: if you were to die, lose all your souls, and then die again to fail to pick up your to retrieve your souls. I'm trying to say pick up your bloodstain, but that's kind of not accurate. Your souls are gone forever, and whatever bloodstain that was, or whatever souls you left, are just completely gone and are replaced with a new currency you have on your player. However, there are ways to mitigate this. Earlier, as you guys see, I picked up a Ring of Sacrifice. Now, these things can work in one of two ways. If you were to wear it right now, you can actually... Or if you were to wear it right now and then die, you would not lose your souls, and you wouldn't have to retrieve your bloodstain just to go pick up what you lost. However, if you were to die and then put the ring on after and then die again, your souls do not disappear. You actually have a second chance at your bloodstain. However, though, be careful. You may have a second chance, but that doesn't mean... But the thing with the Ring of Sacrifice is that once you die, either with it on before or after, it will always break, as you probably saw in the description of the item. God, I don't know why my brain's struggling today. But just know this now. I would recommend, to quote another YouTuber who also inspired me to do Dark Souls Let's Plays. To quote a YouTuber known as Fighting Cowboy, I would recommend that you guys put the ring on after you die the first time, so that way you can at least get 2 shots at your bloodstain. Now, what I'm doing is pretty stupid. I'm not going to level up, and I'm going to be keeping these souls on me, which I really shouldn't, because you really should spend any souls that you get, but I also need that scimitar from that guy down below, so that way I can focus on my dex build. Because for those who don't know, which I also probably should have said when I picked up this Zweihander and the Winged Spear, is that certain weapons have a scaling type. To quickly show it off, my hand axe has a CD scaling. This is good for strength / quality builds, more so quality than strength, but yes. Because it basically scales it has a CD scaling, which you can put points in both dex and strength to get better results in weapon power. Now, things like the mace, on the other hand, only has a C scaling in strength, which means, like, as I said about the hand axe, the mace does not have any dex scaling whatsoever, so it'd be pointless to even put points into it it'd be better if you put more into strength. Same thing with the wing spear. If you were to do it vice versa, with you doing dex instead of strength. Now keep in mind, while yes, some of these do have scale requirements, one better than the other, you can still put points into the other stat. You would just get diminishing returns if it shows like a lower letter grade. Like with crossbows and the pyromancy glove, they don't have any scaling. Same thing with the besides the faith scaling and with a talisman that has a B scaling, D scaling, stuff like that. So yeah, always when you're going for a certain build, always make sure you see certain. Always make sure it's God, I still can't speak. But yeah, depending on what build you go for, make sure that scaling is a high letter grade. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there with a weapon that basically does jack and shit. Alright, you're dead. Pick up the soul items. Normally I usually get firebombs from those guys, but I guess I decided not today. Not today indeed. And we're gonna go ahead and knock your butt out. I keep bringing up stuff later on in this episode. I know we're still only on episode 1, but I really feel like I should bring these up earlier. But as you just saw me do earlier, I basically two-handed my weapon. Something I forgot to mention earlier as well is that while certain weapons, well, yes, you do need a certain requirement for, strength is a bit more lenient. Basically, let's say you don't meet a weapon requirement. Well, if you meet, I think it was in Dark Souls 1 only. I don't know if it was in Dark Souls 2. I know it was in Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring, but if you met the minimum requirement to a weapon, you could basically two-hand it, and it would count as like a 1 point something multiplier. I can't remember, but for Dark Souls, it was like if you met the halfway mark and then two-hand it, it was basically your strength doubled to be able to wield it. But for, I think at Dark Souls 2 they changed it, or from Dark Souls 2 and up they changed it. I'll check it out later and put it into editing. But yeah, no, honestly, this is why I recommended people go strength for your first run, because strength is a lot more lenient than like dex or sorcery or anything like faith-based, because with dex you can't just two-hand something and then expect the same results. It's only just for strength. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put up a bit of a disclaimer here. I do not recommend what I am about to do. Coming down here real quick, for those who can see it, that is a Black Knight. These guys hit like a goddamn truck. I do not recommend any new player to actually take these guys on. Yes, they are parryable, but until you guys get the parrying windows down, I do not recommend it. Also, I failed it right there. Also, I'm surprised that he didn't say nothing. He didn't, I didn't hear no sound effect from hitting him. But that being said, if you guys are ballsy enough to actually take him on, I recommend, as you see as I'm doing, to bait him out. Now, because I do know the parrying window of this guy, I can take him on in that alley. But for those who don't know, as you can see, you can actually backstab him. Just to show you one more time how it goes. Try to get him to... Oop. Yep, wait for him to do that thrust attack, and then boom. Parry around, make sure your shield is up, and then boom, hit him from the back. However, just to show that he can be parried... Boom. Basically easy as pie. Like I said, the Dark Knights look threatening on paper, but here's the thing though, they are threatening on paper, but once you get their parry windows down or able to loop them from behind to get a backstab, they basically crumble like paper. But still, I still don't recommend any newcomers do this unless you really know how to either swerve behind somebody or parry. Wow, he didn't... My audio must have glitched because he didn't even shriek or nothing. Oh well. So real quick about the Black Knights. They have during the early. Why can I not talk? God, this is definitely gonna. I'm not editing this out. All my mistakes are gonna be left inside. All right, all cringe jokes aside. The Black Knights, yes, back to them. They have a small chance of dropping either their weapon or their shield. They're always guaranteed to drop a chunk of some kind, but they have a small chance of dropping either their weapon or their shield. And funnily enough, I've actually had them drop a certain Black Knight that I like to go for. I always hope they drop their weapon because when I go for a strength build, I actually like using his weapon because it's one of those weapons that are just holy crap. It's just that good. Alright, now another thing I want to mention is if you have the master key, you can actually access this little area and you can go down here. Once again, say it with me, disclaimer time. There is an NPC down there. He is called Havel the Rock. I really don't want any newcomers to go down there and take him on because, once again, besides him hitting like a truck, he basically takes damage all day, every day. Normally, I would go down there and grab the item he holds, or the item that he drops because of the build I go for, but I'm actually going to say not today because I have had times where I have taken him on and he has pancaked me so goddamn hard. But don't worry though, we will eventually circle back and come find him, but for now, I'm just gonna say, not today. If you're feeling ballsy, you can loop behind him and actually get backstabs, but for some weird reason, this guy's tracking is godlike. I don't know why, so I recommend you really don't take him on unless you feel really confident. Anyways, though, coming over here, we're going to go ahead and strike this barrel, and... Crap, no. Do not leave. Do not leave. Okay, phew. Normally I can plunge attack that guy and get the stuff from him, but as you saw, I got a... Let's go ahead and open our menu. Large Titanite shards and two Titanite. Twinkling Titanites. Damn, that's rare. Yeah, these are called Crystal Lizards, and they drop upgrade materials. Mostly Titanites to large Titanites to Titanite chunks. I can't remember if they drop like any of the other Titanite chunks like blue or red or anything, or white. But they do definitely drop Twinkling Titanite chunks and large Titanites. Alright, now that we got those guys settled out, we're going to go ahead and equip our gold pine resin. Now, for those who don't know, we are actually at another boss area. Now, this boss in my early days gave me so much hell. And with me also not upgrading myself right off rip, I do genuinely sweat right now because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on the first attempt. But, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and light my axe with pine resin, and we are going to strike him down. Now, I will say this. For those who know about about this boss, you can actually, just like with the Asylum Demon, do a plunging attack, and oof, he got me right there. Actually knock off a good chunk of his health bar. I've actually had to do that during my early days to kill him, but actually I'm surprised I did that on my first attempt. Oh well. But yeah, normally, not normally, but when I used to play this game back when I was younger, I used to have to do the plunging attack just to kill him because I was so bad at Dark Souls. And just to give you a for instance of how bad I was, real quick, actually, no, hold up. I will tell you that story here in the next episode, but just know, I was so bad at Dark Souls, I did something so stupid. Because that's how dumb I was with RPGs back in the day. Alright, we're at the bridge. Alright, one more thing we're going to show off, and then we're probably going to end the video off here. Coming down here, we're going to meet everyone's favorite Sunbro Solar.
Ah, hello.
Hello, Solar. We're going to go ahead and talk to you a few times.
Oh,
We're going to say yes.
the way up.
And then we're going to say yes again.
Displeased.
And he's going to give us the white soapstone. This is used for summoning, or using to be able to be summoned in other people's worlds, and for co-op play. But because I'm not going to be doing co-op play, I'm just going to go ahead and do this mostly solo. This white soapstone is going to be basically useless to me. But yeah, without further ado, I think I'm going to end the video off here. We actually did a lot in this first episode. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. Please leave a like if you are, and I will talk to you guys next time. Until then... God, that took me forever. See you in the next episode.